Hi everyone and welcome to Yoga for Everybody. My name is Claudia and today we're practicing a slow Hatha yoga flow suitable to all level students. I hope you enjoy it. We're going to begin lying down on our backs. So come down onto your mat, lie down on your back and then very gently bring your knees into your chest. So depending on how flexible your hips are, you might be able to bring your knees in quite close, or maybe just keep them nice and loose away from your chest. Bring your hands onto your knees and just take 3 deep cleansing breaths here. So deep inhale in through the nose and exhale. And you don't have to stay still here. You can rock slightly up and down or side to side, massaging the lower back, whatever feels comfortable for you today. And we're going to begin and end in this pose, so maybe just notice how your hips are feeling at the start of the class and then make a note of how they're feeling at the end of the class as well. One more deep breath. And on an exhale, bring your feet down onto the mat. Bring the right knee into your chest and then cross your right ankle over your left knee. Push your right knee out to the side. This is your level 1. Stay here if you feel enough stretch in the right hip already. Otherwise, see if you can bend the left knee, bring your left knee closer towards your chest. So you can interlace your hands behind your left thigh or maybe over your left shin. I'm practicing in the morning, so my body is still half asleep, everything's a bit tight, so I'm just going to take it nice and easy. And again, you can maybe gently rock here side to side if that feels nice. Breathe into your right hip. And on an exhale, release and cross your legs and switch sides. So right foot flat on the floor, left leg over your right knee, push your left knee out to the side. Stay here if this is enough of a stretch for your left hip, or maybe bring the right knee closer into your chest, maybe interlace your hands behind your right thigh or maybe over your right shin. Deep breaths, and again you can maybe gently rock side to side, that feels nice for me. Try and keep the toes on your left foot nice and flexed to protect your joints. Deep breath. And then exhale, release and cross the legs. Keep the left foot flat on the floor, bring the right knee into your chest one more time, squeeze it in. So if your hips are fairly open, maybe you can straighten the left leg. If that doesn't feel comfortable, keep a little bend or a big bend in the left leg. Deep breath, squeeze your right knee into your chest. And then interlace your hands behind your right thigh and start straightening the right leg up towards the sky. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't straighten, you can keep a bend in the right knee, or you can kind of bend and straighten a few times. Maybe point and flex your right toes towards the sky, maybe do a few circles with your right foot. Just notice how the hamstrings are feeling. Deep breath. And then on an exhale, release. Bring the right foot flat on the floor. Bend the right knee and then bend the left knee and bring your left knee into your chest. Interlace your hands over your left knee. And again, if the hips are feeling quite open, maybe you can straighten the right leg. If that doesn't feel right, keep a bend in the right knee. Bring the left knee as close to your chest as feels comfortable. Beautiful sunshine here in Manchester today for a change. And then interlace your hands behind your left thigh and start working your left leg in the direction of straight. Again, you can just bend and straighten the leg. If your hamstrings are feeling tight, might feel a little bit different on this side, which is absolutely fine. Point and flex your toes. Do a few circles with your left foot. Might hear a few clicks, totally normal, as long as they're not painful. And then rebend the left knee and bring your left foot back down. Bend both knees. Bring your knees into your chest one more time. Take a deep breath. On an exhale, just open your knees out to the side as wide as feels comfortable. And then see if you can start bringing your knees towards your shoulders and your armpits. So a big hip stretch here. Deep breath. You're welcome to stay here for another couple of breaths. Or if you want to go into a full happy baby pose, see if you can lift your feet up towards the sky and maybe grab hold of your ankles, maybe your big toes or the outer edges of your feet. And again, just very gently pull your feet apart, bringing the knees closer to the floor towards your shoulders, your armpits. You can again rock side to side gently. Deep breath. And on your next exhale, release, squeeze your knees into your chest one more time. And from here, we're going to come up, so you can rock up and down a few times until you come into a seated position. If that's not accessible, you can always roll onto your side and then calm up. And from here, we're going to come straight into a tabletop position. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and we will continue warming up with a few cycles of cat-cow. So inhale, just arch your spine, drop your belly towards the floor, look forward, so your chest is going in between your shoulder blades. And on an exhale, reverse the movement, chin to chest, round the spine. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. And again, inhale, arch, and exhale, round. A few more times, working with your own breath, arching the back on an inhale and rounding on an exhale. And just make this movement as big or as little as feels nice for your back today. Next time you arch your spine, see if you can lift your right leg up towards the sky. And exhale, round the back and bring your knee towards your chest. Maybe see if you can squeeze it in, touch your nose. Inhale, lift your leg up, arch the spine. Exhale, round, maybe touch the nose. One more time, inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, round the back, squeeze your knee into your chest, and then we're going to bring the right leg forwards to the front of the mat. So if you can't quite step it through, you can adjust your stance, maybe use your right hand to move your leg forwards. Keep your legs about hip distance apart, your feet. And you should feel a good stretch at the front of your left hip here, the psoas. So if you don't feel the stretch, just move your left leg back a bit, roll onto the area just above your left knee, and make sure your right knee is not gone over your right toes. So we're going to hold here for a breath. You can release the toes on your left leg for deeper stretch. On your next exhale, bring your left hand flat on the mat, and then bring your right hand onto your right knee and look over your right shoulder to the back of the room. So twist here. You're more than welcome to just stay here for another breath or two, or maybe you can lift your right arm up for a full twist. Look up if that feels nice, or keep looking down. One more breath, and then bring your right hand down onto the floor. And then move your hands on the inside of your right foot and just toe heel your right leg out to the edge of your mat. So slightly bigger stretch for the hips. So press your right knee into your right shoulder. Again, you can move your left leg back a little bit. So if you're feeling a good stretch here, stay here. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, maybe you can drop onto your elbows. Couple of deep breaths. And then when you're ready, come back up onto your hands. Move your foot, so your foot's in between your hands now. And then move your fingertips back a little bit, take a breath in, and on an exhale, see if you can start working your right leg in a direction of straight. Half splits pose. You can move your leg forwards a bit. You can flex your toes towards you. You should feel a really good stretch at the back of your right leg. Lengthen your spine. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, fold forwards. Breathe into the stretch, relax into the stretch. Don't force the stretch. So it should feel challenging but not painful. So just work at your own level. Don't go too far. You don't want to pull any muscles. You won't be doing yourself any favors there. One more breath. And then let's rebend the right knee, tuck the toes on your left foot, and step the right leg back into tabletop position. Let's arch the spine, look forwards, cow pose, round the back, look down. Next time we arch the spine, let's lift the left leg up. Exhale, round the back, bring your left knee into your chest. One more time, arch the spine, look up. Exhale, round the back, knee towards your chest. One last time, arch the spine, leg up, round the back, exhale, knee to chest, maybe touch the nose, and then step your left leg forwards. So again, if it's not quite at the front of your mat, you can use your hand to guide it forwards, bring your right knee back, feeling a good stretch at the front of your right hip this time. So whatever you need to do to adjust your stretch, your stance, move the right knee back, make sure your left knee is not gone over your toes, and breathe. So again, you can release the toes on your right leg just to feel the stretch a little bit more. And let's place the right hand flat on the mat. Bring your left knee on your left hand on your left knee and look over your left shoulder towards the back of the room. If you want to go a little bit further into a twist, maybe you can lift your left arm up, looking down or looking up towards your left fingers. Deep breath. And then exhale, release, bring your left fingertips down and then move your hands so they're on the inside of your left foot. Toe heel your left foot out so it's by the edge of your mat. So a slightly deeper hip stretch here. Again, you can move your right knee back a little bit if you need to. And just stay here and breathe if you feel it in your hips already, or maybe you can drop down onto your elbows. Deep breath. Should feel quite nice in your left hip. When you're ready, let's come back up onto our hands. If you want on your elbows, to heel your foot back so it's in between your hands. Move your fingertips back a bit and then very gently start straightening the left leg. You can move your hands back, you can move your foot forwards, maybe flex the toes, whatever you need to do to feel a good stretch at the back of the left leg. Lengthen on an inhale and fold over your leg on an exhale, as deep as feels nice. Like I said, I'm still practicing in the morning, so still not fully awake, so I'm not pushing myself too much at this particular moment. One more breath. And then re-bend the left knee, tuck the toes on your right foot, step the left leg back. Spread your fingers nice and wide, put some pressure into your fingertips so we're not putting too much pressure on the wrists. Arch your spine, look forwards, round the back, look down. Arch the spine, inhale, look forwards. On an exhale, round the back, bring your hips towards your heels. Tuck the toes and then start lifting your hips up. Keep a bend in the knees. I don't want you to straighten the legs just yet. And just really focus on pressing into your hands, straightening your arms, stretching your hips up towards the sky. Really, really lengthening the back. Make sure there's no tension in the neck. So your chest is going towards your thighs. Knees are nice and bent. You're on your toes. Hip width apart with your feet. Shoulder width apart with your hands. One more breath. Bring your knees down onto the mat. Big toes to touch. Sit back on your heels. Stretch your arms and your hands forward. Bring your forehead down onto the floor. Child's pose. Deep breaths in this child's pose, resting pose. Next inhale, look forwards. Really stretch your hands forwards, spread your fingers wide. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. So try and kind of externally rotate your shoulders away so you're not pressing them towards your ears. And then come up onto your hands and knees. Separate your feet, tuck your toes. One more time, hips towards your heels. Downward facing dog. And this time, maybe see if you can drop one heel down onto the mat and stretch the back of your leg. So I've gone with my left heel. Inhale, on an exhale, switch sides. So drop the right heel or whichever one you didn't do and hold. But make sure you're maintaining the length in the back. So if straightening your legs, dropping the heels down means that you lean forwards and lose that nice length in the back, it's better to keep your knees bent. Continue pedaling your feet down otherwise. One more breath. And then drop your knees down onto the mat one more time. Big toes to touch. Sit back in child's pose. Inhale, look forwards. Come back up onto your hands and your knees. This time, keep your toes tucked and move your hands forwards to the front of the mat. Keep your hips over your knees and start bringing your chest and your forehead and your arms down onto the floor, extended puppy pose. So a really, really good upper back stretch. Couple of deep breaths here. If it feels too intense, just back out. Sit back in child's pose again. And when you're ready, let's come back up. Walk your hands back. And let's just sit back on our heels. Maybe shake out the wrists. Give your wrists a bit of a break. From here, let's come back onto our hands and our knees. One more time, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. You can keep pedaling your feet down. Bring some weight into your left foot, bend the right knee, and then see if you can squeeze the knee into your chest. You can keep your toes on the floor if you need to. Bring your weight forwards, and then step your right foot forwards at the front of your mat. Again, use your hand to guide it forwards. Press the left heel back. So we're in runner's lunge. Again, move your left leg as far back as you need to feel a good stretch at the front of your left hip. But right knee is not going over your right toe, so it's above your right ankle. Deep breath here, and again we're going to do that same twist but with the left knee off the floor. So left hand flat on the mat, right hand onto your right knee, look over your right shoulder to start with. If you've got the balance, if that feels okay, maybe lift your left arm up for a twist. Deep breath. One more inhale, and then bring the right hand down onto the floor. Drop the left knee down onto the mat. Let's step the right leg back into tabletop position. Bring your shoulders over your wrists and keeping the elbows in, let's lower very slowly, chest chin down onto the mat. Release the toes, straighten the legs, hands underneath your shoulders, press into the top of your feet and lift up into cobra. If you can't lift this high, maybe you can just lift off the mat just a tiny little bit, or maybe you can straighten your arms, whatever feels nice for the back. Exhale, release, tuck the toes, let's press back up into tabletop position and downward facing dog. Deep breath. Place some weight into your right foot, bend the left knee, squeeze it into your chest. Bring your weight forward so you can keep the toes on the floor if you need to. And step it as far forward as you can, guiding your foot and your leg with your hands if you need to. Press back with your right heel this time. Again, adjust the distance between your feet. If you need to move your right leg back, do to feel a really, really good stretch at the front of your right hip. Hold. Right hand flat on the mat. Left hand onto your left knee. Look over your left shoulder. If you want to go a little bit further into a twist, lift your left arm up. Might be a bit too much for the left shoulder, in which case just keep your left hand on your knee. And you can always drop your right knee down onto the floor into our previous variation if you need to. One more breath. Exhale, release. right knee down onto the mat, left leg back, tabletop position. Arch the spine, look forwards, round the back, look down. Calm into neutral spine. Let's lower down onto the mat one more time. Release the toes. Inhale, lift up. Cobra. Hold. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes. Come back up, tabletop position. And sit back into child's pose. From here, walk your hands back towards your knees. We're going to come back down onto the floor on our backs. So with control, lower down onto the mat. And once again, let's bring the knees into your chest. So just notice how the hips are feeling at the end of the class. Bring your hands onto your knees, open your knees out wide, and then circle your knees to the back of the mat and back together. Inhale, bring your knees into your chest, open your knees and circle them back. Do a few more circles like this at your own pace, working with your own breath. And then maybe reverse the movement. So reversing the circle. Christopher, what are you doing? Squeeze the knees into your chest one more time, and we'll finish with a supinal twist. So you can open your arms out to the side or bend the elbows and have your arms in a cactus position. I'm going to go with that one just because I haven't got a lot of room on this side, but you can also have your arms as a capital T. Your knees can be in your chest, or you can bring your toes on the mat if it's too much going from this position. Inhale, on an exhale, drop your knees to the right, maybe look over to the left. Try and keep the opposite shoulder on the floor, so the left shoulder on the floor. Deep breath. And then inhale, bring your knees back into your chest and bringing them over to the opposite side, looking in the opposite direction. So knees to your left, looking over your right shoulder. Deep breaths. And then bring your knees into your chest one last time. Give them a good squeeze. And then bring your feet back down onto the mat and prepare yourselves for Shavasana, so you can carry on having your knees bend or maybe straighten the legs, let your feet fall out, arms by your sides, palms facing down, let your shoulders relax, your hips relax, your legs relax. No tension in the face muscles, the jaw. And just continue taking slow, deep breaths. And this is going to be quite a short Shavasana, but if you've got time, please stay on your mat for a little bit longer, relaxing before you carry on with your day. Thank you so much for joining the class today. I hope you enjoyed it. Do leave me a comment, and I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.